So Avatar 3 box office potential. I wanted to cover this one because I wrote an article about it last night and it got me really intrigued. I think I've been pretty consistent, with when I think this has come up a few times with us. And I always say, and I think me and you both say that it's going to be quite lower because the technology jump's not going to be there like Avatar 1 and 2 did.
Yeah.
But then I'm starting to look at it a little bit deeper while I'm writing this article. And I'm like, okay, China was very limited in Avatar 2's run because they have a zero COVID policy. And I think about 60 to 69% of theaters were open at that time. And then, you obviously got all the other things like unlimited seating and stuff like that just to minimize the spread and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you had that. And it still made 257, I think, million there. I think Avatar is a franchise that has the potential to be like an Avengers movie in China. The re-release for Avatar 1 during the COVID times made 50 million. And that's like 11 years after the release. And it made 50 million for a re-release. That's crazy. And so 260 in a very limited time, I think it shows the potential of it. And I think you could see around 500 to 600 million for Avatar 3 because it's nothing to do with quality in China. No offense to them. Like the Fast and Furious movies will get like 300, 400. Like it's just a guarantee. Like I think like Fast 8 and stuff. Like everywhere else it was declining in the world, but China just keeps getting higher every time. I don't know why, but yeah. And then the word of mouth. I know it's not your word, but the word of mouth has been strong for The Way of Water, and it was stronger for that movie than the first one. So, most people loved it or not loved it, at least liked it. And it was nominated for Best Picture. So obviously film industry insiders obviously liked it as well, along with the good word of mouth and the fact that Avatar 2 was mostly setting the table up for the feast of what's to come, That's the best way I can put it.
No, just look straight up. You're going to have a spider.
Oh my gosh. Why is it always I'd just like to thank Nan over here who just saved my life. We're back on the podcast now. It tells me to look up, and then about 3 to 4 inches above my head is a spider coming straight down to land on my head.
I was too many to get the fly spray, not wanting to just spray you in the face with the fly spray.
You were just aim for me as payback.
Yeah, 100%.
There's no air freshener here though, so.
Well, I'll use Odd Company. Just throw that in your face.
Splash it at me. Should just let me become Spider-Man. But no, this setting for insects interrupting our podcast is getting very, very frustrating. But it always creates a laugh. But to what I was saying before, yeah, Avatar 2, it set the table for what's coming. Now there was a little bit of a cliffhanger to it, and now people have a little bit more anticipation because they don't have to wait as long and they can follow through what's actually happening in the story. So, yeah, what do you think? What's the potential for Avatar 3?
I think we'll definitely hit 2 billion.
Yeah.
We'll probably, because, as you said, it's releasing next year or year after?
Next year, into next year.
Yeah, so by then, COVID restrictions should lift because it's like 5 years on. Like, if it doesn't lift, then fucking just move on. And as you were saying, how, like, the potential in China is almost 500 million. If you add that to Avatar 2, that would have been like, what, 2.7? Was it 2.1 or 2.2?
It's got a 2.3 at the moment.
2.8.
Yeah, so if you add on, like, I guess at least 300, you'd be looking at 2.6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big jump, especially in what I'm talking about, especially in terms of ticket sales, in the box office, and as you said before, because Avatar is now freshly in the minds of not only just the diehard fans but the regular cinema goer, they can sort of know what they're going to expect. They're going to expect a visual masterpiece.
Yeah.
Even though the technology isn't going to change, it's still going to be consistent throughout.
Oh, definitely.
Throughout the next 3 films.
Yeah.
So people will just flock to the cinemas to see that.
Yeah.
And even introducing the new elements as the rumor of the Fire Na'vi.
Oh yeah.
Everyone would want to see how James Cameron tackles the fire element.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him tackle the water, and the water just looked
gorgeous.
Gorgeous, like literally looked like water.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what he does with fire.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And,
so.
No, and then just bringing all that together for like Avatar 4 and 5 would be visually just mind blowing. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Avatar 3 does, not do as well, then it's gonna be hard to not look at the result of these movies at the box office and be like, it was the technology leap that made people go to that movie. Yeah. So we're gonna really see if the story is actually in the people's minds. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think I would say it's around that like 2.2 to 2.5 billion at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see how the marketing is, how it comes. But at this stage, all good things for the Avatar franchise.